I think
I'd
some
actually
people,
find that helpful.
yeah, I think some people find it more easy to read what he says rather than listening to it, perhaps. So if that's useful, I can do that. So
Awesome. Very
that's about it, really. Yeah.
right on. Thank you. And then Andrew, did you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm from New Zealand, Kapiti Coast, sort of north of Wellington, the capital of New Zealand. I don't recall how I first became aware of Tom's work, but I ended up buying book one in an online format, and once I'd read that, I said, all right, I need the whole trilogy, and I bought an actual physical, the 3 books in one trilogy physical book, and read it from cover to cover and enjoyed it very much, and have pretty much been following Tom ever since. I volunteered to help when he came to New Zealand, but due to circumstances and conflict of other events, I wasn't actually able to attend Tom's workshop in Auckland when he came. My skill set, I'm a webmaster basically. I build websites, and I specialize in WordPress. So if I can help in building websites to display any of the material we put together, but I'm reasonably au fait with computers, and I can do sort of basic video editing and so forth. And also, if there's sort of menial, boring tasks of, just sitting down watching hours of videos and finding subject matter or keywords or things like that, I'm happy to just do some of the slog work.
Awesome. We need lots of that. So. Right on. Very cool. Thank you, Andrew. And Lloyd.
Hi there. Right, you can see I'm Lloyd. I'm in the UK as well as Nick, and I live in Wiltshire, about 10 miles from Bath. Nick might know the area.
Yep.
I've lived in Wiltshire. I'm from Kent originally, but my wife and I have lived in Wiltshire for about 14, 15 years now, and we like it very much. Not far from Stonehenge, actually. I'm retired, so I've got plenty of spare time, which is handy. And strangely, I'm looking for something to do. I was doing some voluntary work for a mental health charity, but I don't do that anymore. I did that for about 3 or 4 years, but I've got spare time, and I'm looking for a project or something to do and volunteer. So this is perfect for me. My career was science-based. I'm definitely a left-brainer. I worked in the food and biotech industries for many years, and the last 20 years of my work, I was in quality assurance. I was quality assurance manager, which basically means I was policing everything that everybody else was doing and checking that they were doing the things. That's what quality assurance is all about. I'll come on to my experience in a minute, but I've got a lovely experience that I think may be relevant. How did I get to Tom? Well, that's quite a long story, but I'm 65 now, and in my late teens, when I was at college, I had an interest in Buddhism. I found some books on Buddhism that resonated very strongly with me. When I started reading them, I thought, wow, I just love this stuff. And I read that stuff for a few years, and then I sort of parked it, and got married, wife, family, career, and all that stuff, until about 6 years ago. And I had what I regard as my big nudge from the LCS. Or someone described it as a shove, actually. That was a pretty amazing, powerful experience for me. And after that, I started reading a load of New Age stuff. I went back to my books on Buddhism and stuff like that, and I wanted to know what this nudge was all about. Okay, I found MBT about 4 years ago. It was an Amazon Kindle recommendation, And at first I thought the title was really weird, and I dismissed it at first. Then I started looking at Tom's videos, and 2011, I watched all of that, and I absolutely loved it. It's like, wow, this, you know, it just resonated so deeply with me. And then I read his trilogy. So that's in 2015. And since then, well, I'm basically passionate about MBT. For me, it's just intuitive and a logical, rational model. And being a left brainer, I just think I love it, basically. But the most important part is the application of MBT by far. How we live our lives, how we have relations with others, and growing up. That's what's all important for me. Out of body stuff and all that, great. I don't do it, but I know other people do. But it's the application of MBT that's so important, and how we can make a difference in the world. That's that's what drives me now.
Yeah.
I've met Tom a couple of times in Frankfurt. That was the first time. Met lots of people, lots of my Facebook friends over there. It's really wonderful. Keith, Donna, Pamela, some of the other guys that you'll know of. And then I was at the recent UK Immersive in January. There were nearly 100 people there, which is absolutely incredible. Just an amazing experience. And there's one of them, Titi. That was just 4 days of bliss, because imagine being with 100 like-minded people. It's the nearest thing to a love-based society I've ever come across. It's just fantastic. You know, meeting Tom again, Pamela, and all of the crew was just wonderful. So, and my wife was with me as well. She's well into MBT, Barbara, my wife. So that's that. Experience that may be relevant. Well, as the manager, I've done a lot of project work. I've done project management. I'm into IT and computers. I've done a lot of IT projects and database design, but I'm not a programmer. I emphasize that. In my work, I did a lot of training. I've done course development and presentations as training material. I was also heavily involved in systems design and documentation, all that sort of thing, which I think might be relevant to some of their work going forward. But I'm happy to do the grunt work, transcriptions, time stamping, and all that stuff. So it'll just see how things pan out and what skills are required. So that's me, basically, in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lloyd. It's nice to just
Thank you.
better. So before, yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And before we move on to TT, does everybody just want to, most of you have, but if you haven't, can you just mute your microphone until you're speaking? So the mute button is on the very bottom left-hand corner. If you just scroll down to the bottom of the left, then you should see the mute button there. Okay, TT.
Oh, hello. I am TT from Sweden, Gothenburg, actually. And PP lives here too, you know, PP Longstocking, if you heard of her. So, but I'm TT. I came across MBT, was that 2015 or 16 maybe? So it's been a few years now, and it really changed my life so much, and I am so thankful for this. And mostly, I mean, what is the most important thing with MBT for me? It's actually to get rid of my fears, and I have a goal to get rid of them before I'm 80. So we'll see how that unfolds. And it's quite a tough match to do, as you know. But in the meantime, I would really like to help as much as I can with whatever is needed. In my work, I work as a communication strategist. So I work within the communication area. I've been working with trainings and developing communication strategies, social media, creating videos and training material, and yeah. So that's why I find this so much fun, because I really would like to do something about MBT to help people understand it and grasp the thing, so to say. I'm also writing books, so I am writing a book about Tom's work, and there are still 2 more chapters to write, but it's getting there. It takes some time, but yeah, it will come. I also created some MBT guides that I think, you know, sort of one-pagers with graphics, infographics, where you can also, that could be for subjects, how to work with your intent, for instance, or what is love, or something like that. So I think that kind of material would be fun to create. So yeah, what can I help with? I can help with anything that you think is needed. Listen to videos and do transcripting or translation into Swedish, or creating scripts for videos, or yeah, whatever. And I'm very happy for this group to get to know people and do something together. I think I really look forward to that.
Really looking forward to having you on board. Thank you, TT.
Thank
Just a
you.
little story. TT and I don't really like keep in touch, like, you know how all of us do as a community. Every now and then we might send each other a message, like every 6 months or a year or something. So I'm teaching this course. It was an 8-week course, and a lot of it was infused with MBT type material. And one day I'm like, I woke up, I'm like, I gotta go teach this course. But I had nothing planned because I'm very spontaneous. And so I'm like, oh, what am I going to do today? And I opened my email, and TT had sent me, just out of the blue, an MBT. She was talking about these one-pager infographics. She sent me one, and it was so relevant to what I was teaching, and it just worked out perfect class that day.
I'm glad to hear that.
Are helping a lot with
it. Wow.
Thank you. So Daniela, did you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hello, I'm Daniela from Berlin in Germany. Yeah, I came across Tom 2 years back now, and it really resonated so much with me, with my heart. And in February, in January, I could meet him in person in Lumley, and it was. I attended some workshops with other teachers, but this was the warmest atmosphere I've ever experienced. And I don't know, now this call came from him to help, and it really feels I have to do it. And maybe I can help with translation into German, support Oliver, I don't know. I studied business economics. I work with figures and Excel and so, and maybe when it comes to this, I can help, or with video cutting. For hobby, I do as well some web design, so maybe I can help and assist with that too. Yeah, stuff like that.
A lot of skills that you bring to the table. So nice to have you here. Thank you, Daniela. And Harold?
Oh, hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. Well, I'm here because maybe 10, 11 years ago, the larger consciousness system did something to me that I couldn't explain, and I didn't even know that there's something like that. And so I was looking for answers for a long time, and I had depressions. And well, just 2 years ago, I found the book, and it had all the answers. And so that really lifted me up. And just last week, I was in Stuttgart at the MBT event with Tom, and just seeing their live was just so inspiring. And well, I was in depressive mode again, but just the next day, I had a series of synchronicities that lifted me up again, and I'm very calm now, and yeah, I'm happy to be here and to contribute to the project. I'm a geographer, and I do network analyses, and I can structure, even can maybe help with structuring contents from broad from general to detail, and also I'd like to translate to German as well and watch videos, and yeah, and maybe I find other things that I can help with. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Right on. Thank you so much, Harold. Stuart.
Make sure I have that unmuted. Hi, I'm Stuart Oliver. I'm from Morrison, Colorado, which is a little bit west of Denver in the beautiful Colorado mountains. My experience, kind of like you, Lloyd, I was in quality assurance my entire career. I'm now retired, but I ran quality assurance for Sara Lee Corporation, and then most recently for Coors, which was the most fun job I ever had. Being in charge of people who tasted beer for a living was a lot of fun. But my interest in MBT, I was trained as a scientist, and I worked in the science business in quality assurance and product development my entire career. When I retired, I've always been a curious person, so I read every book I could get my hands on related to quantum physics. And I finished the trilogy that Tom wrote about 2 months ago, and kind of found that the most interesting. Although a lot of the information coming out of the Resonance Academy with Nassim Haramein is very interesting to me as well, but it all points to the same thing, and that's a bigger consciousness that we're all a part of. And I think the pieces are finally falling together on my quantum theory by following what Tom wrote. What I might contribute to the group, I think, is I've been a process and product nerd my entire life. So developing a process that this team and the sub-teams will use that is straightforward, easy to understand, and eliminates any waste and delivers the best quality product in the end would be something that I'd love to contribute to. I've had a lot of training and worked in lean manufacturing and Six Sigma for a couple of decades. And there are processes that I think everybody will feel better about, that their work is not wasted and they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And that, for example, editing video, that there's a good work process put together that anybody can just look at the steps that they go through to do it properly, I think would be very helpful. So that's kind of my background. Very interested in all of the MDT stuff. Also, I'm working right now, and my wife is participating as well in the Robert Monroe Discovery Series 1 through 6, which I find very, very interesting and helpful. So that's kind of my background and what I hope to contribute.
Great, thank you. We definitely need processes in place to make things more streamlined and efficient, so thank you. Sylvia.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. I'm in the US, in Boston, Massachusetts. I first met Tom in the 1970s when I was a child, and I used to babysit for his eldest son when he was still married to his first wife, Judith. And then when I was 14, I had a near-death experience, and Tom swooped in and, well, saved my life and did many other things. That's a long story for another time. But and so I sort of know Tom more from a personal standpoint. And then a couple of years ago, I'd written to him saying, oh, I've been to the Monroe Institute. I really like that. Do you know of anything else I could do that's kind of like that? And he said, well, why haven't you come to one of my events? And I was like, I didn't even know you did events. So I've sort of come back into the fold, and I'm now reading the book for the first time, or I'm book 2 with a book group that Vanessa started. So yeah, so it's come full circle. So in some ways, I've been practicing a lot of what Tom says all my life because of some of the things he taught me at a really young age. So it became a part of me. And in other ways, I'm actually sort of new to the work. The things that I might be able to do to contribute is my background is in strategy. consulting, and I'm really interested in the fact that I know Tom, when Vanessa's just sent me that introductory video that he made, I know he recognizes this as a long multi-year project, so I'm interested in helping structure the thinking around the big picture, and then, you know, as we march towards that. So that's kind of something I'm interested in. I also helped a clairvoyant named Ellen Tad do something a little bit similar at one stage, and was helping her streamline some of her work that was really complicated, and making it accessible to a wider audience. And so I have some thoughts that I can share at the appropriate time about some of the things some of the road bumps we ran into. Just anyway, so there's that. I also like to write, so if there's any writing that needs to be done. And then I'm also happy also to do some of the foot soldier work. So yeah, so I'm happy to meet everybody.
Mm-hmm. Happy to have you join us, Sylvia. Right on. Rod. Just the bottom left.
Yeah. I'm muted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. My name's Rod Olson. I live in Orlando, Florida. Retired. I got my degree in electrical engineering and spent my 35-year career in simulation and training. I came to see Tom when I was watching a Gaia program on consciousness, and there's a little 5-minute clip of Tom. I had to back up and stop and write down the thing and went to his website. That's how I found Tom, was through a Gaia program. And got the book about 6 months ago and read it, and it really resonated with me. Number one, he's a scientist, and he shared a lot of the skepticism that I did about all this stuff. And I've read some of Jane Roberts' Seth Material information, Bob Monroe. There's the Law 1 book out there some of you may be familiar with. So I've been looking into this stuff for quite a while. But Tom's stuff really resonated with me. And, you know, that other stuff was interesting, but this stuff really hit home for me. And so that's why I'm here. What I can lend to this is, like I said, 35 years in the simulation and training community. The toe, living in a virtual environment. I've been living in a virtual environment at work for 35 years, so nothing new there. And it wasn't a hard concept for me, you know, to grasp. And I'm willing to assist in any way, shape. I've done technical business development, project management for government agencies and militaries and whatnot, but retired now, living in Orlando and loving my game of golf.
Awesome. Happy to have you join us, Rod. Thank you. And Ryan?
Hi, my name is Ryan. I live in Los Angeles. Got into Tom's work around 2011, kind of through the science route. I was kind of really into reading popular science stuff like Brian Greene, stuff like that. And I got through with a lot of those books and realized that kind of the mainstream scientists had no idea what was going on. So I was really like searching and like, what is happening? And eventually I stumbled on Tom on YouTube, and I just dove right into it, read the books, got really deep, and it's kind of been, I don't know, trying to spread his ideas among just people I know and talk to people about it, and they seem really interested. I do social media management for work, so I have a lot of experience with, you know, if we need any kind of like social media strategy or anything like that, I'm pretty well versed in all the different platforms. So I think that's one area where we can definitely get more action going and especially help spreading the word over things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I hope Facebook goes away, but still important right now. I'm also an audio engineer and music producer, so I can do anything like that, even to like composition. I've also produce podcasts. So anything like that we might need, editing, audio. And then I've watched pretty much most of the YouTube videos. So again, willing to be a foot soldier and timestamp and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just down for whatever I can do.
Awesome. Yeah, we need a lot of foot soldiers. There's thousands and thousands of hours to watch. So
yep.
Right on. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
And Allison?
My 7-year-old son just came to make himself some lunch, so you might hear some crinkling in the background. My name is Allison Sattinger. I came across Tom's work about 2 months ago, actually, so I feel pretty new to it, but I'm 200 pages into the book, which feels more like just chewing on it very slowly, but I devour the videos when I work. So I am a leather crafter and a silversmith, and I've been running my own business for 12 years doing those things. And so while I work, I've just been taking in as much as I possibly can of what he has to say, and it's amazing. Hi, buddy. Can I have you go for lunch? So I had studied with the International Academy of Consciousness for a number of years because I had some paranormal experiences back in my late 20s. And there were several things that I wasn't quite sure about that when I started to discover Tom's material made a whole lot of sense. It was just like it tied together everything I'd ever intuited, anything that had ever kind of like pinged my brain. It was just as though he had, and I'm sure you probably all feel this way, like it's just an enormous aha moment. As far as how I can contribute to the process, I'm not sure. I'd be willing to do anything. I'm actually sagging from the career as a self-employed artist to playing the harp at bedside vigils for people who are dying. So I'm a musician and a singer, and I'm required to have a social media presence by the nature of my business because it's digital. So I also love posting online. So basically wherever any of those skills would put me, and also just doing anything that's required. I'm just so excited at the thought of this material being made more mainstream so that more people can start to wake up.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Wonderful to have you, Allison, to have somebody who's adaptable to fit where we need them. So thank you. Stephanie, and then also, sorry, before Stephanie, as you're sharing, if you're interested in taking on kind of like a leadership role, mention that as well, because we need project managers too. Stephanie.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, hi, my name is Stephanie Rioux. I'm from Quebec City in Canada. Well, I discovered Tom's work 2 years ago, I guess. Well, first of all, I'm a student in translation, and further I'll continue in science. Right now I specialize in scientific translation, and I had to do some of research papers, and I'm very involved in the bridging the unknown and the science, to understand everything. And well, I first cite quote. Sorry, I'm kind of stressed right now. And well, I discovered Tom's work, and then I was very involved in, okay, let's go and learn about OBEs. And then I was like, oh, there's this telekinesis. Oh, there's Tom Campbell here too. And everywhere where I search, Tom's here. It's kind of magical. So then I continued to watch his videos, and I was and then I pick up the ones that he was searching for help, and so I was. I'm very happy to offer this help. So if I could translate anything I can. I also have a background in marketing. So
I can do some kind of brochures like that. This is content. I also, I'm an artist too, so I can do voiceover as well. I also have a knowledge in Google. So I'm actually building my own website with Google, and there's a platform where everybody can join. Like it's a platform you can put folders or anything that, and everybody has access to. So it's kind of practical things. And where with Google, you can also import any Excel sheets that it's, you can convert it in a kind of Excel-like Google form. So that's the kind of things that I can offer. And what else? Well, I took notes to avoid forgetting anything. So well, I guess that's it. I guess I mentioned everything.
Awesome, right on. Definitely need help with the voiceover work, Stephanie, when we do the animations and graphic design and all the talent. So thank you so much for being here. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
And then is it Helene?
Yes.
Hi,
Do
Helene.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have to do anything to be in the screen?
No, we can hear you. We can see you. So for those who may have just joined us late, we're just doing introductions now. A little bit about yourself. What brought you?
I am a native French. I am from Toulouse in France. I'm a former secretary, bilingual secretary, French English. I discover Tom when I was searching for OBE, and it's a long time ago. And since then, I'm following him. And I will be able to do translation, transcription in English and French. I'm able to do subtitles. I'm currently doing volunteer job in TEDCom. Okay, I'm a language coordinator. So you ask if I able to do any responsibility job like a manager. Are you going to? I understand you will be maybe going to do the work, the project on YouTube. Is it that? Yes. So yes, this is what I was thinking. That the project will be on YouTube. That means from the beginning to the end. Mm-hmm. So you can engage. So you are going to create a new channel with managers and collaborators and playlists. This is what I was thinking you will be doing. So create playlists with from the last meeting. I understand that you will need. So you make a database. Then from there you can make a playlists. So I calculate that you can make I do some research about that, and I found you can make about 50 to 500 playlists. So you have your entrance. Then all the video then we can be put inside the playlists, and from the playlist you can sort it out again by titles and by dates. So that's a lot of possibility already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can do editing. I have on my computer. I don't have a professional background about it. I'm just a user, so I can use. I can. Yes, I can use. I'm using video. I forget the name, so I don't have a video editing in my computer there. So yes, I would like to do translation. So I was saying French translation, English transcript, and subtitles, and editing.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Plus
much.
the video editing is possible. For video editing, it's easy. You can take any videos from the YouTube channel, do the editing, put it back directly, export directly to the new YouTube channel. So it's very easy.
Yeah.
As long as you have interest as a manager or as a collaborator in the in a playlist. That's it.
Yes.
It's easy. Actually, it's really easy. Yeah.
Okay, great. A lot of good ideas there. Awesome to have you on board. Thank you, Helene.
Yeah, Hanida.
And then Jorge?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yep.
Hello. Well, apologies if the internet stops, but I don't have very good connection.
All good.
My name is Jorge. I am from Spain. I live in Ireland. I know Tom Campbell since the late 2017. I have read his 3 books. I understand pretty well by now his model. I'm very interested also in the quantum physics experiments. I think I could help. I have seen most of the videos he published since 2017. So I think I would be able to put some order, create the segments of the videos that we are interested in. Also, I could help translating into Spanish, either the books or videos by adding subtitles, or even with my own voice. I wouldn't mind. Also, I think I have a hobby, which is philosophy. And I have some writings in my free time. I'm just an amateur. But I have come up with to the conclusion that more or less, it seems to me that the model of Tom goes in the same direction, that the logic that I try to find in my writings is telling me. So that's why I have not had any special experience with the larger consciousness system. I don't know anything about it, but thanks to deriving the logic, it leads me to the same conclusions, or direction at least. Therefore, I think it's worth it to try this movement. I want to support it. As I said, I'm not an IT person. I don't know much about software, programming, but I am a person very curious and with a lot of ideas, creativity. So I think I could help designing the ideas, the structure of what we want to build together. I could help, I think, with this, with translating and breaking down the material of Tom, because there are many videos.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, great, awesome. Thank you, Jorge. There are many videos. I think I looked yesterday, 615 videos on his YouTube channel. So yeah,
right.
lots to go through. And then Frederic.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I'm Frederic. I'm from the Netherlands. I live in Amsterdam, and I read some books 2.5 years ago, I think. I had just finished my master, and my master was in philosophy of technology, and it was discussing the question whether there's free will in virtual realities. So when I read this book, it really resonated with me. It was also very much an aha moment. And since then, yeah, it's improved my life a bit, so I'm really eager to spread it. I'm a data engineer, and I work at a startup where we're creating a search engine for electronic health records. So I have some experience with making information accessible. So I can help with that. I'm not entirely sure how that can help, but probably okay with technology, I guess. And also I can translate to Dutch, and also very much up for the soldier work, or so yeah, anything to help really.
Yeah, that's cool. Philosophy and technology. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, Frederic. And then is it Linda Sane?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 parakeets right by the computer, so we might get music too.
Cool.
I discovered MBT in about 2006, 2007, and I joined the forum some years later, and I was a moderator for the forum and then an administrator with Ted Bowers. I mostly have probably resources. I have a lot of YouTube videos that I've already, well, other people mostly wrote them into transcripts and then I edited them. And it is not an easy thing to edit Tom's transcripts or Tom's videos because he doesn't go from a script. He just goes off the cuff. So there's lots of run-on sentences. There's lots of pronouns instead of nouns. It's hard to figure out where to break things up, verb, you know, and subject matching and all that kind of stuff. So it takes me a long time, but I already have a lot of transcripts. So people who have other language skills and who want to take those transcripts and put them into French or whatever other language, there's already a bunch of transcripts waiting for you. And I emailed Vanessa a list of those. I have a lot of other transcripts that I need to edit, so I'm going to spend my time on that because people have already spent time making the transcripts and I don't want to let them down. But I do, you know, have a lot of other resources. I have almost all of Tom and Ted's answers from the forum. They're not organized into subjects, so it's just kind of in my, you know, in a folder in my Word documents. But a lot of those are really valuable things that Tom, you know, hasn't said in YouTube videos. And I'm wondering if, I know somebody mentioned that you might do an app, and I was wondering if it might be good to start with an app for beginners, like all of the acronyms, where you can find MBT, you know, in book and in audio, all that. There's just a lot of things that I know people ask on the forums that would be very good to translate into some kind of an app, like frequently asked questions. That would be something that somebody could just dial up and then there's an answer. And it could be an answer from Tom or Ted. So those are just kind of my ideas.
Yeah, those are great ideas. I love the idea of an app for beginners. Definitely, that's the first step, right?
The other thing I would say is I think somebody mentioned in the last one an animated video of probability. And I think that would be so valuable because I think that's one of the concepts that people understand the least.
Yes.
And they need to go to the YouTube video where Tom explains it. I'm actually working on that transcript right now. And if somebody wants to tackle that, I can send them the transcript. It's not finished, but it's mostly finished. And then maybe do, you know, an explanation like Tom gives, and then give 2 or 3 examples of how probability works. Like probability in a random event where there's lots of things that can happen, and probability in an event that does not have much randomness. Because people seem to think that with a focused intent, you can make anything happen, which of course is not true. So I think that would be really helpful too. You know, and I would help in a script of that because it's something I've spent some time on. If somebody's interested in putting that together.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, Linda. Jonas.
Hey guys, my name is Jonas, or in English Jonas is okay. I live in the southwest of Germany. I came across Tom's work just a few months ago and yeah, starting to watch his videos and read his book. And yeah, it's amazing to see how all these wisdom teachers point to the same direction. So yeah, my background, I studied mechanical engineering, and then after that I volunteered in a meditation center for half a year, so I've kind of a meditation background. And yeah, a few months ago I started to work as a mechanical engineer in a big company in Germany. And yeah, I don't know how to help, probably by sorting the endless hours of video material. So yeah, I'm quite new to his stuff, so I think this would be a starting point for me here.
Good motivation to get through stuff too. That's a win-win. Very cool. Thank you, Jonas.
Yep.
Michael?
Can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, I'm a little bit late to the dance, so to speak. But to talk about myself, I had a 41-year career with the City of Toronto as a document specialist. And I'm now teaching at Ryerson University in the Graphic Communication Management School. I'm actually teaching accessibility. And just to explain how the LCS got me teaching accessibility, I was in a 5-week murder trial, and Madam Justice Malloy called me to the bench. She said, "Do you know something about accessibility?" I said, yes, I was teaching it in a lecture actually. And she said, "I'll make you a deal." He said, "If you go teach this at Ryerson, I'll let you out of this murder trial." So that's how I ended up teaching accessibility at Ryerson. I was actually being a coward. So the LCS kind of kicked me in the ass, and it's been the most amazing spiritual experience I've ever had. So, we're expanding accessibility, not leaving anybody behind. I've actually just been drafted by Sunnybrook Health Sciences into the patient as teacher program. How I got into Tom was I actually had cancer surgery at Sunnybrook. I got into massive complications. I almost died, and Tom's work got me out of that funk. So it's all come full circle for me. I absolutely support what Stuart said on a project management approach. I believe I can help with that. I can help with accessibility. I can help with technologies. One of the things I thought about was maybe looking for some talent. This is the one of the top schools in North America for graphics communication. Look for some talent. We might also be able to get educational grants to go along with that. So I think that's where I can help. So that's my story.
Fascinating story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Very fortunate to have you join us. Thank you. Ethan.
All right, there we go. I have 2 mutes on. My name's Ethan. I'm from Wisconsin, originally from Michigan. I came into Tom's work through just documentaries, through the Monroe, through the Path 11 productions, and kind of got into more of the out-of-body and the science, and eventually kind of gravitated and evolved more into the practical aspects of MBT. I read his book. I'm halfway through it again, and midway through, towards the end of book 2. And the second time around, it just floods you with information that you just missed the first time. And I watched hundreds and hundreds of videos. It's just kind of, the book just kind of restates everything that's in the videos. I have a project management, process improvement, Lean certified, Six Sigma. I think I watched the set on the last go around, just with regards to databases, and kind of sifting through all that material. So I think I could help with that. Like to lean more towards from like how I can contribute to pulling out different aspects of content within either the videos or the book itself, and even the forum, and kind of connecting all those dots and kind of creating some segments that revolve around whether it's beginner or intermediate, just looking at the different concepts. But again, kind of reaffirming that the practical aspects of not necessarily the out of body, but it's just the day-to-day routine, that grind that we all face. That's where I think, I could be really just beneficial with that. Is just looking at just, you know, your awareness and how you can just interact with individuals from a communication standpoint in the day-to-day, to always kind of adhere to that thinking of other, and just kind of getting out of the self routine. And I think that however I can contribute to that, you know, I would certainly like to be involved with that.
Yeah, awesome, love it. Thank you, Ethan. Okay, Rod. I unmuted. Oh no, you got unmute. Oh, I can just do that. I don't know, Rod. We can't see your camera, so I'm not sure if you're. Oh.
Well, you already came to me, Vanessa. You want me to go back on?
Oh, I did. I can't see you, so.
Oh,
yeah.
I turned the video off to cut down on the bandwidth.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Toby.
Hi. So as you said, I'm Toby. I know I sound like a chipmunk, so I'm just gonna put out there firsthand that I use he/him pronouns, because I'm pretty sure no one would guess that. So the forum said that I've been on there since like 2011. I was in one of those like pretty intuitive people. You know, I got called old soul as a kid, all that stuff. But I've also been skeptical, because I remember 8 or 9, I tried out praying exactly once, and I waited to see if it did anything. Then I was like, wait, but the thing that I prayed to not happen could just not happen anyway. How would I even know if it did anything? So I think I ended up here through the kind of astral projection to some OBE form to, I don't remember how exactly I got here, but I have read the whole trilogy. I read that way back when, and I'm still kind of trying to absorb all the implications because it's a lot. Let's see, in terms of skills, I have some rusty IT skills, nothing spectacular, but if need be, my husband's systems and network administrator, I can ask him stuff and then my other partner does writing, including screenwriting, so if something small comes up in that area, I can see if she's interested as well. I'm good at proofreading. English is my only fluent language, but if something comes up in a pinch, I can try and use my intermediate Japanese. And for anyone who's doing translations and English isn't their first language, if there's anything that's like an idiom or turn of phrase that's kind of confusing, I can try and help out with that. I'm pretty good at explaining those kind of things. And then voiceover work was mentioned earlier. I would totally be good to try that if that's something that comes up. Did I miss anything?
No, that's spot on. Yeah, thank you. It's very helpful, your skills.
Thank you.
Tomas?
Oh, hi. I'm Tomas from Czech Republic. I suppose I ran into Tom's work 3 years ago. The way I got there was throughout my early years, I guess from high school, I've been thinking about reality and how all of this works, to find some place in all of it. And eventually my thinking got me to pretty much where Tom was in his videos, which I ran into. And I suppose part of what I was trying to figure out was how to best help people around me. And I came to the conclusion that eventually every single individual needs to basically help themselves. And that the best thing we can do is to provide them with the information and such so that they can use it and get forward. And Tom's work pretty much saved me several years of my thinking. So I was already on a path of, let's say, trying to help people get some information, but for that I would need to do quite a bit more thinking and structuring my thought and ideas so that they would be in a form that would be understandable. But now that I ran into the video call into action, that was pretty much exactly what I would end up doing anyway, I guess. So I decided to join this cause, and the way I can help, I suppose, is translating to Czech. Other than that, I'm a graphic and product designer, so I could do some 3D modeling, renderings, maybe some infographics and such. Other than that, I suppose I have a thing for efficiency and planning, but there have been people who said that that's what they've been doing their whole lives, and so I guess they would be much better at that than me. But I guess if I saw some inefficiencies or better ways to do things, I could probably come in and share my opinion. Other than that, I'm really interested in the ways ideas can be expressed visually. So I'm not sure I am too good at it because there hasn't simply been an opportunity for me to use that skill, but it's something I like to do, figuring out how to express ideas in simple diagrams and such. So I suppose that's about it.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tona. Last, Tom. Oh, Nanette is here too. Okay, she popped up there. Hi. So Tom, did you want to share? If not, then I'm not sure, Tom, because we can't see your video either, so I'm not sure if you're still there or not. But your mute is on, so we'll just we'll go to Nanette and then we'll come back to you, Tom. Nanette.
Hi there. Really fun to join this group. I came to Tom's work kind of roundabout. I was actually at an OBE intensive when a individual from Sweden, who I'm still in contact with from that experience, was reading Tom's book at the Monroe Institute when I was at William Buhlman's presentation. And it looked like a doorstop, and it was like, I don't think I can ever do that. So I downloaded it on audio, even though I am a reader, and I've probably listened to that book all the way through maybe 7 or 8 times because I travel a lot with work. And so I'm in my car a lot so I can listen to it. And that intrigued me, so I went to the intensive with Vanessa and Beth, who it was fun to see there, and Daniel, so some of those familiar faces, and went home and digested more of the information and then went back to the intensive this last November in Tennessee. And at that time, I know that I'm still working, but there's time for me to give, and I'd like to give it to people so that they could understand Tom's work. I think we all agree that the book is fairly ponderous, and if we can get the information out there in more, I don't know if the word's cryptic, but smaller format so that people can really understand the concepts, I think it's going to be better. And particularly younger readers would have a better time of it. So that's why I wanted to help either through this venue or through CUSEC, and looking at ways to come up with low-cost funding for youth to come if they don't have a lot of money and can't spend a lot of money to get to an intensive somewhere, that maybe there's a less expensive alternative, and I think this is it. So organizational skill is my thing. I'm an administrator, project manager by nature. I work in the healthcare field and was a hospice director for 6 years. And so I work with seniors now, but my forte is being able to kind of organize and cut through chaos to try to get to an efficient way of doing things. So I'm happy to work in the backside and do whatever is needed. I'm okay with Excel. I can get around in there if you need some help you know, or data entry, those kinds of things. But that's kind of my skill set.
Yeah, great. Definitely need your organizational skills. So thank you. Awesome to have you here. Tom, are you there? I don't, you may have maybe walked away from the computer and not hearing this. So let's move on. And Tom, if you do come, then just jump in anytime. So I'm Vanessa, and I came across Tom's work in 2015. And I was very fortunate to go to the Monroe Institute and learn from him directly, and that's the only reason I got so immersed into the material. So I'd like to be able to take his work, yeah, and just help people so that they don't have to go away and work with him one-on-one, so that they can be engaged in the material without having to go travel to see him, so that they can do it just online for the comfort of their home. So that's why I'm here. I'm really passionate about his work. Like most of you, it's changed my life. And I'm a people person. I like connecting with people, but I'm not the best organizer. But my man is, so I brought him with me so that he could help us get organized. So maybe you want to share a little bit, Dave.
Okay, guys, what an honor to be amongst all of you. It's when Vanessa was telling me that she's got this project going, I'm thinking, okay, just keep quiet. Okay, I'm gonna walk and just continue to do the dishes, keep vacuuming, and then pop, pop, pop. She taps me on the shoulder. So, babe, this is what I'm thinking, and I'm going, oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I have a good lot of education, finance, philosophy, commerce, admin, project management, leadership, innovation, IT. For my active income, I'm in senior management, a director of a college. So project management is definitely something I'm really encouraged to hear exactly. We've got a lot of key players that are immediately starting to come to the forefront. I don't have a choice, you guys. So obviously I'm here and here just to really support all of us. And I think the skill set that I bring is that I'm able to speak multidisciplines from a variety of different backgrounds. And that comes from graphic and marketing, even you know, existentialism and so on and so forth. So I hope that I can add value, and it's just an honor to be with everyone here, guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you all for being here and sharing your time and your stories with us. It's fascinating to me to just see how we all came to be at this place at the same time, from all little pockets of the world all around the globe. I love how we're connected in this bigger purpose, and we all are here because we know that love is the answer. And how do we make that more mainstream, right? And we've all got different ideas, so now it's time for us to work together and see how we can get that out to the masses. So we did kind of run a little bit over time. It is a bigger group, and I was just really excited to learn more about everybody. But I wanted to get into a little bit of organization. So what we did with the last group is we created a Google Doc. And after the call, I sent out the Google Doc to everyone. And on that Google Doc, if you're interested in helping still, then what you would do is just put your name, how many hours per week you can help out with, and then what is your skill set, and also are you interested in taking on a leadership role, and then your contact information. That's on the first Google Doc. And then if you look at the second tab, there'll be a list of different skill sets that you can choose from or you can add to. So I will send that out to everybody after this call sometime today. And like I said, if you're still interested in helping, then please go ahead and fill that out. So now I just want to kind of open up the call to any brainstorming. Does anybody have anything, maybe from watching the last call or from being on this call, that's just kind of like speaking to them? They're like, I've got a really great idea and I want to put it out there. I want to share with you guys.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. Lloyd.
Okay. There's a couple of three things here. The first thing is with the social media platform that Tom wants to develop. There's something I've been looking at for a while, which is called Telegram. It's an app. It's available for iOS and Android, and it's also Windows 10, or you can use it on the web. So multi-platform. It's a social media system like Facebook, but in many ways completely different. it's an open source code. It's free. It's very secure. You can upload multimedia files, video, 1.5 gig videos, all sorts of stuff. I would very much like to trial that with someone to see what we can do with it. It's very secure. You can have end-to-end encryption chats if you want to, that sort of thing. So that to me is very interesting. And for programmers, it's got API hooks and all sorts of whizzy stuff. And I'd love to see what we could do with that. It's called Telegram. If you go to, if you search for Telegram, you find the website, you can see all the detail about it. Yeah, I'd really like to play with that and trial that. That's one thing. Secondly, some of you will know Sean O'Neill, I believe, from MBT Global, etc. Sean O'Neill. Him and another guy whose name escapes me, they developed something called the Elastic Database. Have you seen that? Anybody?
Yeah, is that where you search for the video? Like
it's a search engine where you can, it searches Tom's YouTube videos. So you can search on a keyword, say fear, and it will display all of the videos where the word fear occurs. And it's like a list of timestamps within that video where that word occurs. Now, I don't think at the moment it encompasses all of Tom's videos, but most of them. So that could be a very useful tool to actually find these keyword occurrences within the YouTube videos. So I certainly suggest having a look at that. The web address that you need for that is elastic.nbt-database.com. That's where you'll find it, and have a play with it. It works really well. Yeah. The other thing that I don't think's been mentioned yet is Oliver's Matrix Wiesen. Oliver Weiss in Germany, you know, yeah. His website, matrixwiesen.de. That is a mine of information. The fireside chats, almost all of them are time-stamped. So again, that could be a really useful source of information. Yeah, and there's one other thing I've come across, which is on your first team meeting, you were talking about like tracking progress and stuff like that, and I think Mark was talking about spreadsheets and things. I've come across the Google database, where you won't find it in Google, but it's called Obvibase, O-B-V-I-B-A-S-E. It's Obvibase. It's a Google Chrome database, and I've had a play with that. It's very easy to use. You can very easily set up a simple database. You can import and export CSV files, so it's really cool. And for a single user, it's free, but for multiple users, it's $5 a month. Okay, so that's a small cost, which is worth considering. The good thing about that is that if you just fire up Obvibase and log in with your Google account, you will just go straight to the database, and whoever sets it up initially can just invite others. So there's no confusion of which file you're going to edit and stuff like that. You just go to the database, and you can have multiple databases. So it's fairly simple, but I think it could be a very good tool for us. Again, that's something we can evaluate. Because I think that the way to go forward with this project, really, we need to evaluate things, see what's going to be useful, filter out that stuff that's not, and then go forward with the best stuff. So that's a few ideas I'll throw into the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great. And as you mentioned, Oliver, so after this call, if you go on the Google Doc and you guys are still interested, then the next thing I'm going to do is have Oliver contact you if you're not already registered for the fireside chat. because we're using we're using a space on his server. I don't know if that's the technical talk, but he's basically setting up a platform. Yeah, okay. He's setting up a platform for us so we can all stay connected. So he'll reach out to you and send you your username and your password, and then you can log in and create your profile.
Yeah, great. I'm not logged on his database yet.
But,
oh, okay. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, any other? Yeah, Nanette.
One thing that I thought that I wanted to reinforce from the call last time that I thought was really a great idea, and it came from Beth, and that is also if there's a way to, because I think searching for keywords is critical to find the part in the video, but I think we have to recognize that there's lots of people who need to hear this information that aren't very techie, and trying to find a timestamp in a 2-hour video is going to be difficult for them. I liked Beth's idea of being able to do video clips so that you can get quickly to that part of the video. So again, using the example of fear, is there a way for us to be able to clip out those sections? Because when Tom does a video, he covers so many topics in one single video that if you have to listen to an hour and a half to get to fear, you know, that's kind of hard. And so I thought, and I don't know, I'm not techie enough to know how to do that, but I'm sure that there's probably people who are, where we could pull out those sections so you could see all of the sections of all of the videos that dealt with fear, you know, or 3 or 4 of those. To be able to get to that, because I think as a listener, that's been one of the things that was difficult for me. Was I would search on a keyword, but sometimes you'd have to listen a long ways to get to where you were trying to find out your information. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that's a helpful point, definitely. Okay.
The way timestamps work on YouTube, though. You can click on a timestamp, it'll take you right directly to that time in the video. So it wouldn't necessarily be that you had to clip out everything. It just depends how we want to do it.
Does that still work right on mobile?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Vanessa?
Yeah.
So I was going to suggest, I think what we need, because the range of skills that are required to make this happen and people's interests and capabilities are so different. I think what it would be super helpful to have somebody that has an overview, particularly of the technical aspect of how we're going to translate 600 and some videos to something that's quite useful, to create a structure within which we can all work, so that, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe they would say first we have to, you know, catalog and name and notate every single one, and then they can, you know, say this is what we need people to do. But some sort of a top team that can create that overall sense of a process and a sequencing. So translators might not be needed for 2 months or, you know, whatever. I'm not the technical person that knows how to do this, but it feels like we need some sort of management team that will start to create subsets of teams to sort of move us forward. And then if there's another team that's not about just the videos, what's the other team? Is there a branding and marketing team? Is there a, you know, short and medium term strategy team? Like what are the teams? I feel like we need a team structure so that people can start to break up into smaller groups.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the first team that we would be putting together is the time stamping, because that's how we have the most volunteers for time stamping. So right now it's looking leaders who want to take on that, because we need more than just one project manager. We need several leaders to take on several sections of that.
Can I put in another suggestion just real quick? I was actually considering if a Slack workspace might be useful for this, because you can have the sub-channels based on topics. So if you have people and you talk about the transcription part versus the translation part versus anything about the app, that you can have those conversations in text, searchable. You can put reminders on messages and stuff like that. Just think it might be something to look into.
Yeah, I've heard of Slack. That's the second time somebody's recommended that. So yeah, we'll definitely look into that because I've heard that it's
Okay, great. Because I've had good experiences with that, being able to, like I said, separate things at topic. And like someone mentions, here you should read this PDF or this thing's happening next week. I could just put a reminder on that message, and it'll work within there. I have to actually get going off the call. Just want to put that in. Thank you for putting all this together. I will put in what I can do to that Google form you mentioned. It was great meeting everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
okay. Thanks, Toby. Bye.
Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge, you wanted to?
Yes. Well, I think that whatever is the long-term purpose that we don't know yet, I think the short-term is pretty clear, which is to put some order in all the information we have. It's a lot. We need to somehow filter it by people like us that we know the material. We know that we can say from, in this video, from segment of the minute 20 to 35, Tom is talking about love, for example. So this is something that we have to pick, but there are many other videos where Tom talks about love. There are maybe hundred of segments for the same topic. For the topic ego or fear, the same. We're going to have hundreds of segments. So I imagine a user who's going to pick a topic or either type it. For example, is interested about love. Is going to see probably hundreds of little segments, all of them filtered by us, that we consider they have to do with love. So I consider it would be useful. Still, it's very intimidating for this person to see so many videos. I consider it useful if we try to guide them to see, to show them what is more profitable for them according to, for example, their level. So here it comes the idea of creating a second. Once we have the first criteria of filtering done, which are all the topics, love, fear, larger consciousness system. Second criteria of filtering could be the level of knowledge that the person has. In other words, if we have a person that knows a lot about this model, he is able to listen videos that contain concepts that a beginner doesn't know. Therefore, if we are able to classify those videos that they contain some vocabulary like LCS or entropy reduction, that they are not so understandable by beginners, we can make the information more what is the word, accessible, more useful, depending on the kind of user. So I don't know how to do it, but I know that for sure people will know how to do it, to create kind of a second filter, which is what level of knowledge the person has. If a person doesn't have level because he's a beginner, we have to show them pretty basic content of whatever the topic he's interested. After this second filter, I imagine that there are many other videos. And I am thinking, what if a third filter could be done? This third filter, it's just an idea. It could be, for example, the context. There could be a user that is a beginner, so has no idea about some vocabulary, is interested in love, but is interested in love for his particular situation. It can be love for his father, for his daughter. It has to do with politics. It has to do with many different contexts. So a third filter could be, for example, the context. In that way, if we are able to create somehow a database with these filters, the user would be offered a smaller amount of videos. It would be much more easier for them to pick the correct video he wants to see. This is an idea.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and can I say something?
Sure.
Yes, and I think that last time it was given the idea that that we should put all the small sequences together in small in 10 minutes or 9 minutes time. That may help also. That's really a good idea. And as an editor, I think the question is how to separate these little places with some title animation, things like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and then I think Stephanie, you had something you wanted to say.
Yes. Well, I'm hearing that there are a lot of very nice ideas. The thing I observe is that all the ideas and all the platforms that we have to use are separated. And there's a lot of things with Google. I'm not here to do the promotion of Google, but but like if you have a database, like Jorge, he said, like with 1, 2, 3 filters with Excel or Google like Excel form, you can do that, and you can arrange that sheet and you can incorporate it in Google. Also, there is a Google website is tablet friendly, mobile friendly. Also, you can make a group on Google and incorporate, for example, that we need to do, well, there's a folder in that space, this kind of a workspace. You can chat, you can send messages, you can go and create a forum. So if anybody has a question, anybody can answer too. You can also separate tasks in folders. So for example, this is translation work, this is a voiceover work, this is marketing work, anything. And then you can put some lists and organize it this way. So everybody has access to the same thing, and everybody, like, it's not like one thing like here, one thing there, one thing there. It's kind of everything, one space, one place, and everything is accessible and easy to do. So that's the idea that I try to give. But obviously there is a lot of things maybe that I'm not aware of that could be better. But logically, that's the idea I want to share.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's definitely a really helpful idea, so thank you. You guys, I just want to be cognizant of the time. We have 5 minutes left on the call. So I know you had mentioned something to me yesterday in terms of grouping people. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, guys, the whole idea is we obviously have to get organized. So what's going to happen from here is more than likely we're going to have a couple more Zoom meetings. We're going to collect data. The call to action for everyone right now is to get to the Google Docs. Vanessa is going to send through the Google Docs. We've got to start to organize the information. I like the idea. There's a lot of quality management, quality control, Six Sigma people, people that are understanding how to use Excel. We need to be able to create Gantt charts, critical milestones. But it really starts with just organizing all the people. So right now we're obviously in the infancies. It may be a little bit delayed. So the intention would be for Vanessa just to give you guys kind of quick updates. Obviously, this is all volunteer stuff. So you know, we just got to be conscious of everybody respectfully who's got an active income and is not doing this full time. In terms of what we may even do is coming to light is just like we already got groups, people that have basically amalgamated together right now on the Zoom meeting. So this could be where you guys could see we're one pod right now, and then inside here we would be able to differentiate work. Right away that comes to mind is like a chronological order. We know that the YouTube videos are in time. We can break up that into segments where the Zoom meeting of this particular team, we can then break up. We've got skill sets. And I think that will be a natural, organic way to get things going. But once again, we need to identify who wants to take leadership roles. We need to start organizing that information. In terms of what's happening, of everyone's ideas, yeah, if you can think it, it's out there. And you know, some platforms that people are not aware of, Google platforms, all these other types of things. This is where we're all coming together to make Tom's work come to life. And this is the the largest consciousness system that's helping us do all this, guys. So will there be a delay? Obviously, I'm on top of everything with Vanessa, and okay, maybe we got to get some touchbacks. But I think there's just we're just creating the momentum right now, guys. And obviously, with a large project like this, like Tom articulated, it's not going to happen right away. We're all vested, but we just got to create this momentum. And first, it's going to start with the organizational of everyone, and how do we create those teams, and then compartmentalizing and getting us organized from there. Great ideas in terms of those things, but those ideas really are kind of where we want to lead to. That's the natural trajectory where we got to go. And I'm echoing what everyone's saying is, okay, Sylvia, like what do we do to get us organized and really create team leads and people that are working synergistically, and then processing that information towards a senior team that then processes towards the, eventually down to marketing, to voiceovers, to animation teams and things of that nature. But you can see that this entire project duration is not going to be within 6 months. We may have to create something that looks like a 2 to 3 year platform with milestone activities, conversion points, things that are going to be bursting into other activities. But this is where we got to disorganize right now. So I think patience is the key right now, and we're all in. It's just a matter of just getting us organized. So those are my thoughts, Vic.
Yeah, that's really helpful. See, that's why he's here with me.
But I'm still on dishes. I still got to do dishes.
Yes.
And cook dinner.
And vacuum.
And vacuum.
So yeah, this is really great, you guys. I would really love it if you could, if you're still interested in helping, send me an email and just say, hey, I'm still interested. And then what I'll do is I'll reply back with the Google Doc, the link to the Google Doc, and I'll forward your info to Oliver and have him send you the login and the username for your own personal account. Yeah, this is fantastic. I feel very honored to be amongst all you amazing IUOCs and for us to come together and create this paradigm shift, this global movement. It's exciting.
And when you guys email, let's start to articulate our group right now. So this is the March, what are we on? 23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in your subject line, MBT, March 23rd group, and then your name. And that way we can start organizing. And this way we've got this team together. And we didn't realize there's going to be 100+ people. So those that have basically organically came into this Zoom meeting, this is the team that we're going to work with. And if it just so happens that there's some strengths and other teams have more of a certain skill set, then that's okay. We can pluck those people out, bring them in, and create the teams around, the organization of the natural, organic way that the Zoom meeting came in. Because guys, this is trust in the larger consciousness, and there's a reason why everyone was able to make it to March 23rd. And let's lean upon the the practical applications that we're in. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I look forward to.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.